Hello interwebs, it's Scott from Admiralty Entertainment, and we're back with the final entry in this Droid Factory Advent Calendar, 2nd edition, episode 2, 2024 edition, whatever you want to call it. This is the second Droid Factory Advent Calendar that Disney Parks has released, and we have gone through 24 days together to be able to get to this point where we now have 6 whole droids already assembled, and we are working on the 7th one right here, which seems to be a C1 unit. We have a wreath accessory to go around his head. We have the body. We have 2 separate and different legs. Well, mostly different. There's a couple of differences between them at least. So I'm guessing we're going to have ourselves a head for the final entry here. It's a fairly safe bet, I'd say, because I don't think the Disney Parks would want to be sending out droids which don't have any heads to them at all. That'd be fine for the Halloween droids, but not so much for the Christmas ones. But there's only one way to be sure, and that is to head into the Day 25 door and see what is inside. So here we are at the end of it with the final door, day number 25. As we said way back when we were looking at this package originally, on the first edition of this, back in 2022, they had the number 25 sort of in the middle there, so you couldn't actually read what that sign says. Of course, the sign is written in Aurebesh anyway, so most of us can't read that, but I believe it says "Do Not Open," which is kind of a weird thing to do on an advent calendar, because you do want to open them eventually, like today, because it's the last one. So that's what we're going to do. We can see that the divot is right there in the middle of that, so we're kind of not opening that part, we're opening next to part of it at least. So there is the final little red baggie inside, and yes, for consistency's sake, it does still have the Star Wars Droid Factory in white on the top of it. And let's see if we can just, opened it up nice and easy for this final entry. And we have a few interesting things in here, it would seem. So let's make sure we've got everything out, and we have a head, which is good. Heads are good. We have the center wheel. So kind of like on an R2 unit, C1 units still have a wheel in the center there, although this looks a bit more like a shopping trolley than the standard R2 unit does. And we have a couple of little accessories here in terms of the little arm things which come out the side of Chopper's head, which I guess we can kind of antlerish position on this one. I don't know. Let's see. Let's assemble it, because now we've got all the pieces. We better have all the pieces, because this is the last door and the last bag of components. So let's pop them all together and see how we go. Alright, so let us start with the base body right there. We will pop on a leg. Now, because this is a Droid Factory design, I don't think it really matters whether you put it on that side or that side. It's entirely your own preference, and because this isn't actually Chopper, it doesn't matter for consistency as to which side you put it in, because there's no right or wrong side when it comes to Droid Factory figures. So we're going to put that one on that side. I'm going to put this one on the other side, because I like having the little wire there at the front. And again, just pop straight into the shoulder socket there. We do have the socket at the bottom, which you can attach that center wheel to, or you can not. You can just leave it like that, so it's in the sort of standing position. But it is good to be able to pop it in there. You can see that that is an asymmetrical design, so you will get that in there the right way around, because there's only one way that they'll actually plug in. And then of course you can angle those legs back to be able to be moving along there. We do of course have the head. It's interesting that they didn't paint any of these technical details, because they have done that in other entries here, and in the Droid Factory line in general. So yeah, a little bit bad that they didn't do that here. But let us pop that on there. Just get that hole in there, and interesting head design with the whole wings off his eyes there. I can see that this red and white bit, that's a scarf, right? You see the scarfness out of it there? Is he a penguin? Is he a penguin? Because he's got yellow feet and fluty eyes and a yellow nose. He's a penguin. He is a penguin C1. Okay, and of course we do still have these arms, which, as you can see traditionally, go in the side of the head there. See if we can get that in decently. Okay, so we put those into there. They're a little bit fiddly to do on camera on that side at least. So yeah, there we have Penguin C1, and yeah, you can have that on there. I'm going to take the head off first. I'm going to take the head off because one of the features is the disassemblability of Droid factory figures, and yeah, as we saw, the underside of that wreath does have grooves specifically to fit on the shoulders of an astromech. So yeah, once they are on there, that actually fits quite nicely. And then we just pop the head back on. You could probably just put it on without any effort there, specifically to remove the head. I just thought it'd be fun to do that, to remind everybody what the Droid factory is all about, and also to be able to keep it away from those little arms on the head there. So there we have our final completed droid, which is a Christmas penguin themed C1 unit. Yeah, I mean, it's always weird for me to see a penguin as Christmas themed. You know, polar bears, yeah, sure, because that's the Arctic. Penguins come from Antarctica, which is the opposite end of the planet to where Santa lives. You know, Santa lives in the Arctic. These penguins are either really, really lost, or on a tour group or something. I don't know. They would not fare well with polar bears outside, I think. But no, it's cute. I mean, it certainly hits the design marks for it. They managed to do that quite nicely. I'm still not certain about the arms there. They kind of throw it off a little bit for me. Yeah, it's an integral part of the C1 design, of course. But yeah, I do like the little scarf design that they put on there. A little bit of Chilly Willy, you know, not owned by Disney, but you know, reminiscent at least of that sort of character to me. But yeah, I mean, they've certainly done it well in terms of getting the concept across fairly easily with, you know, just a choice of yellow plastic for the legs there, and you know, that little bit of paint application there to get those eye details. So yeah, he's fun. He's a good addition to the team. So there it is, our completed Star Wars Droid Factory Advent Calendar. The entire robotic crew all assembled, ready for display or integration into your collection otherwise. Oh, that was a journey. 25 videos, 25 entries, and we built 7 droids. Well done, team. Thank you so much for your support in getting all the way through there. You know, some droids were, you know, more challenging than others. You know, as I said, we have prematurely built a couple of times. Didn't realize that there were still more accessories and parts to come. That's my bad. We learn, we live, we learn. But yeah, we have them all now, and let's see. Out of them all, I'm still going to go with our first droid out the gate, the gingerbread droid. I think that one's really cool. That one, you know, I would have gladly bought that as a separate release. Despite, you know, being part of the advent calendar, I think that's really the nicest one. It's got the most paint application. It's the most fun by having the glasses of milk on there when it's a gingerbread droid. I think that just concept really works. Likewise for the runner-up, I think I'll go with the BB unit. I know these are the ones we had very early on in the advent calendar, but I think they're definitely the strongest design-wise. You know, third, I would put the Gonk droid, because that's just a really clever way of utilizing that design, turning it into a Christmas present. I'd liked the B2 unit, but it's kind of, you can't add much to that. It doesn't change anyway. It's just, you know, a green and red B2 unit. But yeah, as I said at the time, I like that sort of slightly minion-esque yellow quality. But yeah, that is one that you could kind of go even further on if you really wanted to go, look, it's a minion, it is a droid, it's a minion, it's a droid sort of thing, which they clearly didn't do here. They were just much more restrained. So it's nice. You know, Dio, yeah, he's fine. I'm not a huge fan of that particular character anyway. the color scheme they've got here, yeah, it's very nice. It feels reminiscent of what we'd expect to see in a Star Wars Black Series Holiday Edition. The R1 unit, yeah, it's a thing. It's utilizing the mold. It's got some nice colors to it. Yeah, not my favorite. I think I'd probably actually rank him last, which is not very fair to him. He's just doing the best that he can. But yeah, it doesn't quite gel for me. So I'd say second from the, it'd be bottom, second from the bottom, third from the bottom. No, actually, no. I put the B2 unit third from the bottom, and we have Penguin Droid in the middle there, because I like what they've done with that one. I just don't know how well it fits. Certainly not as the sort of culmination of the whole Advent calendar. I would have been quite happy for the gingerbread one to be, your final, boom, it's Christmas Day, this is the droid that you've completed sort of thing, as opposed to just a penguin themed one, which, as I've said, I like it. It's very nice. It just doesn't scream the holidays to me. But, we have a great selection of droids here. I think they're all fantastic. They're all fun. And really, that's what this thing is about. Building a nice new collection of droids with some fun and funny and witty and just enjoyable designs, utilizing the Droid Factory process. Of course, you can disassemble these guys, reassemble them using parts from other Droid Factory ones, really mix and match things up, and just have fun with it, because that's what they're there for. And I hope that you've had fun too, staying with us on this journey through this Advent calendar. It's been fantastic to have you along for the ride, and we hope that you'll continue to be along for the ride with us as we go through the rest of the year and on into the future. If you did enjoy this video series, then please feel free to check out the Advent Calendar Countdown playlist that we've got in the description below, which shows out other Advent Calendar countdowns that we've done, not just Droid Factory ones. There's the previous Droid Factory one, of course, but there are some others. We do have the Christmas video playlist if you're in that sort of festive mood, or otherwise just check out some of the other videos that we've got on the channel. It's fantastic that you've joined us for this ride. We hope that you continue on the ride, but more than that, we hope that you have yourselves a very happy holidays from all your friends here at Admiralty Entertainment. We'll see you next time.